Should think Graham Dott did enjoy it. What a performance that was. Can't do much with this. Well, that's sort of underhit that, didn't he? I thought he was going to play that to try and play on the top cushion, but that looked suicidal.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to push the red towards the other reds on the black cushion. It may have just ran off a tad.
He must have done. Surely he wouldn't have tried the pot at that pace. It was too risky. Bingtao trying to make something happen with the reds.
One.
Would have hoped for a better outcome than that, certainly from the colours perspective. So this is a tough and very missable pot into the middle pocket, especially as he's probably going to try and play position as well. Very difficult shot, and he hasn't had much table time. Well, that's an interesting thing, isn't it, Alan? And that shows in its own way a little bit of maturity, understanding that perhaps playing the position made the pot more missable. So cut your losses, get the points, play a good safety shot. Quite impressed with that.
Yeah,
in its own way, yeah.
I couldn't agree more. He's almost playing the numbers game. He's what? Only, I say only, but he's 43 behind. There's still plenty on the table should he get another chance.
Yan Bingtao, 7.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't see that often from younger players, because the exuberance of youth, you see your chance and you just go for it, and you miss the shot and then you lose the frame. You go, well, you know, I couldn't do anything about that, but he's kept in the game with that shot. Interesting.
Yeah, as I say, that I thought it was a good choice as well. The other thing that it just sends a little message to John, doesn't it, that tactically Yan Bingtao is learning all the time.
Well, he's got his reward.
Yan Bingtao, 6.
Pink goes safe and he's got the miss. There's another decision, is there? Do you play the open red even though the balls are in worse positions, or do you put your opponent back in? This is worth thinking about and open to debate, even in the commentary box, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think he'll put him back. I would.
Yeah, the pink going safe is a massive sort of plus for John Higgins.
I think in these situations, if you put yourself in the other guy's shoes,
yeah, what would you like?
John Higgins will be standing there thinking,
hope he goes for the red.
I hope he goes for the red.
There again, if he puts him back in and John Higgins plays a great safety shot, he's no closer to the points-wise. So perhaps he could play for the black, get it back on the spot.
1.
Not got on it, but
yeah, the point of that is that John Higgins will now be sitting in this chair. He'll be delighted that Yan played the red.
Important to pot this black. No chance of getting on a red, you would think, unless he pulls something out of the bag. Would have hoped, I think, to have been playing a better positional shot off that red than he ended up playing. Certainly would have been hoping to get further down the table. But even so, he's sort of only 29 points behind now, so there is only that pink ball that is safe. That's a bit of a loose safety shot, though.
Yan Bingtao,
Didn't get any right-hand side spin on the cue ball there.
Yeah, he should have played with check, shouldn't he? He even could have been ambitious enough to try and just lift the pink from its position it's in. The red was only going to go across the table anyway. Something he didn't quite spot. Now John Higgins' scoreboard now is important. He pots this and gets nice on a black. Oh, that is perfect.
1.
That is a brilliant shot.
Yeah, especially as he needed two reds to keep high on the black was excellent. Not guaranteed to pot the red along the cushion, but he's given himself every chance. Especially from there.
9.
Yeah, you live and die in this game, don't you, by the decisions that you make. They're all capable of playing the shots. The decisions are so important. I think Jan should have put John back in when John missed the reds and hit the pink. It's gone now, obviously, but learning all the time, Jan Bingtao.
16.
Yeah, I think it wasn't the worst decision in the world, but you can split hairs on the decision.
John Higgins, 16.
Barring snookers and accidents, John Higgins will take the first frame. Yang Bingtao comes back to the table, 45 points behind. Plenty of players would have already just thrown this one in, but once again, showing some maturity here. You never know what's going to happen. You've got to get out of the snooker first, obviously. $11 points in fouls needed, but it's irrelevant if this red goes in. Well, that brown caused John Higgins a few problems. Don't suppose he'll live to regret it. The balls aren't in the easiest positions for playing snookers. $45 points behind. A free ball would be handy. Probably the only way Yang Bingtao could win the frame. Unlikely to get 3 penalties out of John Higgins.
Yeah, I know one thing, he's not going to get a free ball out of John. That is a certainty. But I suppose it's worth playing on. It is the first frame.
Oh, what a great shot that is. Wow. Do you know what? I mean, apart from anything else, that was a superb shot. Apart from anything else, playing on in the first frame, even though you might not be putting them, your cue action, you're just going through the motions of getting the arm going out there on the table.
Yeah, just getting a feel of the cloth. And I mentioned there's no chance of him getting a a free ball out of John Higgins. I wouldn't mind even money he misses this red on the left-hand side if he plays at one cushion.
Well, he'll be going nowhere near the black.
Foul. Jan Bingtao, 4.
Not a miss because snooker is required, but if you were so far away from the shot, you could be called a miss. If the referee thinks you've really not been playing a sporting shot.
Yeah, I think in the rule book, anyway, it could happen, couldn't it? I think you have to make a genuine attempt. But how does the referee prove it, I suppose?
At least I think they can call a miss, or they can certainly award the frame to an opponent for a bad sportsmanship. That's certainly in the rule books. It's a good line with a cue ball.
Maybe a half chance of getting in behind the pink. Up and down twice. Well, I didn't play the pot.
1.
He sort of put his hand out to apologise to John Higgins there. I don't think John will be particularly worried, really. John will take his chances on Yang Bingtao missing this black into the middle, and then it's game over. Hanging on in there. 33 points behind. It'd be nice to be able to play this, shift the brown off the cushion and get a snooker behind the green, but the trouble is, chances are that yellow's going to go towards the left corner, and he won't get the snooker either. He could play the yellow onto the brown, possibly. It's a difficult one. Great shot. That's a very aggressive shot. Excellent.
Yang Bingtao, 8.
And John, being John, will have noticed brown and blue. So he'll be keen to not leave a pot on the yellow at any stage.
Bingtao needs 2 snookers, really. He could get 1 snooker to draw on the pink, but that wouldn't be the right way to go about things. It's another great effort. It really was well held. But if you ask John Higgins right at this moment how impressed he is with Yang Bingtao, he'd be coming out with superlatives at how he's been thinking throughout this frame. Nothing to do with the pots, nothing about that. It's just, you know, your longevity in a whole career could be down to your shot selection. And this guy from China looks like he knows what he's doing at the age of 17. Going to be seeing a lot more of him, I feel.
Yes. John will feel like he's playing a younger version of himself almost, won't he? I completely agree, Steve. That's a clever little shot as well. Just depends. I think he's almost poker straight towards the pink, and I think he can slip in behind that.
I mean, he could try and screw him behind the pink of the baulk cushion somehow. It's a bit of a tricky one to do. Wouldn't necessarily know where the green was going to end up. But once again, having a little study up before, just to check what's the best option. He needs to make a telling safety shot. He's not playing. Isn't he playing half ball pink to get the pink out? Surely not. Screw down behind the blue and brown. Leave him a distance. Wow, great shot. Clever shot.
2.
He's got the pink into play for the snookers, and we couldn't have asked for that really, but even so, clever play. Clever play.
Yeah, it was good thinking, wasn't it? I mean, I think John will still hit the green regardless, but at least he's asked him a question. That's all you can do.
You sure he's 17 and not a replicant?
Yeah, I mean, John, obvious to say, but do not hit the black here. Jan could win if John hit the black. Yeah, good hit. On the browns, handy now. Maybe not for this shot, but farther down the line.
Still very much odds against Bingtao getting back into this frame, but it's just been quite a fascinating opening frame. Didn't get the snooker, but got a good green.
Yeah, it's a different ball game this when you're playing a John Higgins, much like playing yourself, Steve, back in the day. Even when you had an opponent needing a couple of, excuse me, 4-point snookers, you're completely aware of what you're leaving your opponent as far as getting them. And John's like that. He'll deliberately make it awkward for Jan. Just play a shot willy-nilly and think, I'll just shove the green up the other end of the table. He thinks about where the balls are. There's another good effort. Oh, look at this shot.
Wow. Do you know what? I mean, it wouldn't be a problem if the cue ball wasn't touching or close to the cushion, but to get the right-hand side spin off the back cushion now is very, very difficult. John Higgins is all of a sudden in trouble. From nowhere, a bit lucky. We know that, yeah, but the thing about this is Yang Bingtao has given himself a chance in this game by playing the correct shots, not trying to go for the throat at the wrong time. And now, well, if John Higgins doesn't hit this, it's a free ball.
Yeah, I think he's going to jack up here, John.
Yeah, he may be better just to, even if he hits a brown, he destroys the situation and doesn't leave a free ball.
But he could still leave a free ball, obviously. But still fancy him hitting the green here, possibly.
Yeah, great shot. Could be in the snooker now, behind the blue, I think.
Yeah, his choices.
Maybe the pink.
Yeah.
But I think he could roll in behind the blue, but he'd like to get it really tight behind the blue. He's going to have to put a bit of pace on the cue ball, so it could be the screw back behind the pink. Wants to get tight, not tight enough really, but if he gets it close to the black, it causes John Higgins problems.
he's giving John the run around, isn't he?
This has been a wonderful frame. And you know, we're two tacticians in the commentary box. Obviously, we love it, but this has been marvellous. You know, for a player at 17 to cause John Higgins this many problems.
Yeah, John's shaking his head, but he'll secretly be appreciating what he's up against.
He will be. He will be. But he's got him slipping and everything now. Go, look at it. Oh, what a marvellous frame of snooker. Never ceases to entertain in a variety of ways. And this is fraught with danger. You know, he may even miss this on the far side and sacrifice the points again, Alan.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to hit the black. He can't hit the black.
I tell you what, just the way he's cueing at that, I think he's dangerously close to it.
I know. But he's got to get close, because if he goes across the pink spot, I mean, or even further afield, he's not even really made an effort.
Yeah, and it's to do with the referee deems that he's not made a fair attempt, but how can you prove it again?
Well, it's down to the referee, but I mean, it's a big call, obviously, but he wants to get... He was always going to be... Oh, it's a good shot, but he was always going to be on that side of the green. Great shot from John Higgins. And an appreciative tap on the table from Yang Bingtao.
I don't know. In this situation, for me here, I think you should be potting green, brown and blue and having a go at the snooker on the pink to win the frame. Not win the frame. It's a 6-point deficit in it as far as snookers, but it'd be one in the pink to tie.
I don't know. I don't think it's tough to get a snooker with just one, with two balls on the table.
Yeah, I just don't think he's going to get two.
I know, yeah. Yeah, you're right, but yeah, it's a tough decision. Does he go now for the draw with one snooker on the pink? It looks like that's what he's doing. Oh no, okay. I don't disagree with that.
Yang Bingtao,
I think it's just
yeah, it's a judgment call,
yeah,
isn't it? You know, everyone thinks.
I'd actually go with that. I'd actually go with that. He couldn't. The green wasn't an easy ball to play the snooker. Pot the green and then go for the snookers. Two snookers on the brown.
The question I tend to ask myself in that kind of situation is, in Jan's shoes, if you asked him a question when he needed 3 snookers, would you take pink and black on the table, and you need a 6-point snooker to be able to tie? Would he would absolutely snap your hand off. But I suppose that's all after the event and a few other things thrown in there. But as I say, I don't fancy him getting 2 snookers. Oh, what an effort this is as well.
This guy's a great player. He's already a great player in my eyes. Perhaps he's going to try and wear John Higgins out today.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Just get through, I think. It's off the back cushion, I believe. Well, from a situation earlier in the frame, I don't believe that anybody could have foreseen how hard John Higgins has had to work to win this first frame. Can get the cue ball up behind the black here, John Higgins. Joe's the other way. Brown over the corner pocket, sending the cue ball down into that corner. Nothing wrong with that either. Both ways were valid. So Bingtao forced to pot the brown, I would imagine, to try and pot it. And perhaps that one snooker to tie. Still on an option. In a way, perhaps it wasn't the best shot to play the brown over the pocket. If perhaps it was best to keep the brown away from the pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just what he's doing. He's just got John thinking all sorts, isn't he?
Perhaps the other way behind the black with the cue ball was better. Now he's.
Yan Bingtao 4.
Oh, he doesn't want to hit the black really. No. That's not good.
Yeah, John's just with the blue back up the table, away from that black. Was to get in behind that black.
Yeah, it's tough.
Almost tough to get in behind it. If he got in behind it, it's a big if, but
yeah, it would be.
It'd be a good snooker.
You could get sort of half behind it and blue on one of the side cushions. Yeah, the black going there now means that Bingtao very unlikely pot the blue and try for that one snooker off the pink. He'd have to be guaranteeing a snooker to pot the blue now. It's been a superb opening frame regardless. End of frame perhaps. Certainly, not perhaps.
Five.
Yeah, the concession will come now, I feel.
John Higgins 5.
After all the trials and tribulations, it's John Higgins who takes the opening frame.